Hello and welcome to all students. In this lecture we learn about vector space over R. In fact, vector spaces over R. So first of all, let us define what is meant by a vector space or the outline of our lecture. So first of all, we see the outline of our lecture. First we see the introduction. Next we define a vector space over R. Then we state some elementary properties of vector space and we try to prove these properties. After that we write down some few known examples of vector spaces. Then we solve some examples on vector space. Then we see subspaces of a vector space. Then we state some theorems on subspace and we try to prove these theorems. Next, some examples on subspaces, and then we see the union and intersection of subspaces. Then finally we look towards the linear combination and linear span of the vectors in the vector space. So let us start. We are familiar with vectors. In 12th standard we have written a vector u in the form of xi plus yj. Here I and j, they are unit vectors. I is a unit vector along x-axis and j is a unit vector along y-axis. This is a vector in two-dimensional space. And similarly I have written a vector like this: u bar is equal to xi plus yj plus zk. Here I, j and k, they are unit vectors along x, y and z axis. So in the 12th standard we have seen some examples of vectors. So this vector xi plus yj plus zk is a vector is in three-dimensional space. So let us so these are the two cases of these are the two particular examples of vector spaces. Two-dimensional vector space is R2, we call it is R2, and three-dimensional vector space we call it is R3. R3, okay. So in this lecture series we will generalize the concept of vectors and learn the vectors as an algebraic structure named as a vector space. Let us we define what is meant by a vector. Simply, a non-empty set V under the operations of addition, plus and scalar multiplication dot is said to be a vector space over R if it satisfies the following exams. So simply here to define a vector space over R we need a non-empty set V and two operations. First operation we call it is addition operation and second operation we call it is the multiplication operation, scalar multiplication operation. Okay, so addition means this is not a usual addition, means it is not a addition of like numbers or we are whatever we are using that usual addition. It is not usual addition, it is just name addition, and we will define that addition in different ways in different vector spaces, okay, in different instances. And multiplication, scalar multiplication is nothing but a multiplication of scalar with vector, that we will define in different ways. Okay, so to define a vector space over R we need a non-empty set V and two operations on it. First is called as the addition operation and second is called as scalar multiplication. Okay, and this non-empty set V with these two operations is said to be a vector space over R if it satisfies the following exams. Exams means conditions. If it satisfies the following conditions. So what are these conditions? We write here. So first exams means conditions. So first condition is, or first exam is, closure with respect to addition. So closure property with respect to addition. So this set V must satisfy this condition, closure property with respect to addition. And what is that property? For all u comma v belongs to V, u plus v belongs to V. This condition means take any two vectors in a V, then their addition u plus v again belongs to V. That is called as a closure property or closure with respect to addition. So non-empty set V with these two operations must satisfy this condition. So first condition. Our second condition is commutativity with respect to addition. Commutativity with respect to addition. So what is that exam? We write here. For all uv belongs to V, u plus v must be equal to v plus u in V. It must be satisfied in V. So this property says that take any two elements u and v in a non-empty set V, then u plus v, this addition must be equal to v plus u. Okay, this is the second condition which have to be satisfied by V to become a vector space. Okay, so let us third condition. Look at third condition, associativity with respect to addition. Associativity with respect to addition, and that is, this condition is nothing but for all u comma v comma w belongs to V, u plus v plus w is equal to v plus u plus w. Associativity. This condition says that take any three elements in V. So u plus v plus w must be equal to v plus u plus v, u plus w. So here is some so see here that condition must be for all u comma v comma w belongs to V, u plus v plus w must be equal to u plus v plus w. Okay, that was the thing. This means that if we add u and v first and then add the resultant in w is same as first add v and w and then add resultant in u. So both the things must be same. So this property is called as associativity. So this property must be satisfied by V with respect to addition operation. Fourth property is existence of 0 in V. So this means there must exist 0 belongs to V such that u plus 0 is equal to 0 plus u is equal to u for all u in V. Means there exists an element, we call it 0 in V, which satisfies this condition. Which condition? For all vectors u in V, u plus 0 must be equal to u and 0 plus u must be equal to u. Means if we add that 0 in u, there is no change in the vector u, or if you add u in 0, again there is no change in vector u. U remains as it is, and it must be true for all vectors u in V. So this is called as existence of 0 in V. So to become a non-empty set V, that we must satisfy this fourth condition also. Our next condition is, okay, such an element 0 in V is said to be an additive identity of V. Okay, such 0 is called as additive identity of V. If that 0 satisfies this condition, it is called as additive identity of V. So additive identity must be in V. Now fifth condition says that existence of additive inverse for each member of V. Existence of additive inverse for each member of V means for each member, for every U belongs to V, there is a corresponding V in V such that, okay, for every U means for every element U in V, there is one corresponding element, some corresponding element V in V such that we satisfy this condition. U plus V is same as V plus U and it is equal to 0. So this is called as, so here V is called as additive inverse of U. V is called as additive inverse of U, and that V is denoted by V is equal to minus U. Okay, so keep in mind this thing. So this condition, existence of additive inverse for each member of V, this says that for every U in a non-empty set V, there must be a corresponding element V in the set V such that addition of these two elements is additive identity. U plus V is additive identity 0 and V plus U is equal to additive identity 0. Okay, and in this case V is called as additive inverse of U, and that V is denoted by V equal to minus U. So keep in mind. So fifth condition is over. Now next condition is, we call it is SM1. So Fi means condition on additive property, fifth additive property. Okay, now SM1 means it is a multiplicative property first. Okay, closure with respect to scalar multiplication, and this property says that for all P belongs to R means for all real numbers, or for all P in R means R is a set of real numbers. For all P in a set of real numbers and for all U belongs to V, product P into U must be belong to V. P into U means P is a scalar and U is a element in V. P is a number, U is a element in V. Okay, so P into U, this product must be in V. This is called as scalar multiplication. So to become a vector space to a non-empty set V, that must satisfy this condition also, SM1. Next condition is M2, SM2. Behavior of 1 from R with respect to element in R. We know that in a set of real number there is a one number unity, we call it is 1, and its behavior with the elements of V must be like this. The number 1 in R satisfies the following conditions. 1 into U must be equal to U. Here is some mistake. 1 into U must be equal to U. Okay, so if we multiply by 1 to any element in V, there must be no change, there will be no change. So we will get that element itself that is this condition, 1 into u is equal to u, and this must be true for all u belongs to v. Okay, so here is a typing mistake, 1 into u belongs to v. Instead of this we have to read 1 into u is equal to u for all u belongs to v. Okay, so behavior of 1 must be like this with all the elements in the non-empty set v. So if we multiply by 1 to every element of to each element of a non-empty set v, then we will get that element itself. 1 into u must be equal to u. Okay, so behavior of 1 must be like this. Then third condition is SM3, associativity with respect to scalar multiplication. Associativity with respect to scalar multiplication. Now this property says that for all p comma q belongs to R and u belongs to v, we must have p into qu is equal to pq into u. Okay, and this property says that associativity with respect to scalar multiplication means for all p into q belongs to R and for all vectors u belongs to v, if we take a product of q and u and then multiply that resultant with p, that must be equal to take a product of p and q and multiply resultant with u. So both those things must be same. So this is called as associativity with respect to scalar multiplication. That property must be satisfied by v with respect to this scalar multiplication operation. Now next condition is distributive laws. There are two distributive laws. First is D1, distributive law, distributivity of multiplication over addition for all p belongs to R and uv belongs to v, must satisfies p into u plus v is equal to pu plus pv. Okay, means if we make the addition of u and v, u plus v, and then multiply by p, is same as addition of pu plus pv. So this is our first distributive law. Second distributive law is D2, distributivity of addition over multiplication for all p comma q belongs to R and u belongs to v, p plus q into u is equal to pu plus qu. So these are the two distributive laws. Okay, so overall okay, so these are the conditions that non-empty set V must have to satisfy to become a vector space. Okay, to become a vector space. So how many conditions are there? If we look here now, so how many conditions are there? I think there are 5 conditions with respect to addition, 3 conditions with respect to scalar multiplication, and 2 conditions with respect to distributive properties. Means 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 2 is 10. Okay, plus 10. So to become a vector space, a non-empty set V with respect to addition and scalar multiplication must satisfy these 10 conditions. Okay, if they satisfy these 10 conditions, then we say that a non-empty set V with respect to addition of vector, with respect to these two operations, addition of vectors and scalar multiplication of vectors, is a vector space over R. Is a vector space over R. Here over R means we are taking scalars from a set of real numbers. Over R means we are taking scalars from set of real numbers. Okay, so this is about the definition of vector space over a set of real numbers. So let us we stop here, and thank you for listening this lecture.